Hello everybody, welcome to the Jester and Mirdo Interactive Entertainment Awards of 2019, all the jammies. I am your host, Mr. Jester. Don't call me Mr. though, that's my father's name. And with me on my left or right, whichever direction it is, it's my favourite German person in the world, Mr. Mirdo.
It me.
It you. Hello, welcome everybody. This is our first foray into Game of the Year Awards for the channel. This is very much a community voted thing. Mirdo and I decided to do an award thing and then kind of include the community at the last minute. Just before we carry on, my voice is dying and I'm really sorry, I'm doing my best. So long story short, we had a short list of many games that we like to use for different categories. We then chose 3 that we liked the most and left that to the community to vote. We also voted as well, and there's going to be a couple of situations where we're going to have to talk about a little bit of a tiebreaker as well. But for now, we are going to run through the games that we are considering for awards this year, because we didn't play every game this year. As you can tell, we aren't a big channel, we don't have a big YouTube channel, we don't have a big Twitch channel, we don't have games being thrown at us for reviews, so we have played games that we've wanted to focus on, rather than going, okay, we're going to try everything. So it'll give you an idea of what kind of content we were looking at creating. So, what games have we considered for 2019? In no particular order, these are the games that both Mirdo and I played. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, Felix the Reaper, Forza Horizon 4 Lego Speed Champions, Division 2, Yoku's Island Express, Pokemon Sword / Shield, The Grand Tour Game, Halo Reach, Outer Wilds, Wargroove, Ape Out, Untitled Goose Game, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, Slay the Spire, My Friend Pedro, What the Golf, Descenders, and Katana Zero. On top of that, there are games we individually played. I played Crackdown 3, Apex Legends, Borderlands Game of the Year Remaster, Final Fantasy 7, Borderlands 3, Man of Medan, Gears Pop, The Outer Worlds, and Mirdo played Super Mario Maker 2, Crumple Zone, Grid, and Wreckfest. And then we have a couple of audience nominations, such as Mortal Kombat 11, Death Stranding, For Logic, Cat Quest 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Unheard. So any games you didn't hear on that list aren't for consideration for our personal awards. So if you're wondering where Resident Evil 2 is, it's in the trash because we don't like horror games. And
sucks to be you.
Yeah, sorry Resident Evil, no awards from this venerable content creator group.
Who got 2 thumbs and didn't play Resident Evil 2? This fucking guy.
Who's got 2 thumbs and didn't play Sekiro? These guys.
Yeah.
Who's got 4 thumbs and didn't play Gears of War 5? These guys.
We wanted to, but we didn't.
Yeah, we had plans, we never did it. First award is the Fun AF, or the Fun as Fuck Award. The Fun as Fuck Award goes to the game that provided us with a lot of fun this year, and more fun above anything else. Games on this list that were nominated to begin with were Borderlands Game of the Year, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Borderlands 3, Halo Reach, Slay the Spire, Crash Team Racing, A Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Our top 3 for community voting were My Friend Pedro, Crackdown 3, and What the Golf. And the winner is My Friend Pedro. Congratulations, My Friend Pedro. You win the Fun as Fuck Award and the venerable purple plate of Jestertainment. Congratulations. Yeah, it was a good game. This wasn't the game Mirdo and I played until later in the year. We ended up doing an indie day, which we're going to have to start doing a lot more of for next year, I believe. I really enjoyed it. It's a game I carried on playing. I went back to, finished, and I really enjoyed the fact that I got attacked by a psychotic banana.
Yeah, it's definitely a very interesting game because it's pretty simple in what it does. Like the mechanics are pretty simple, but it's like what lifts it above other games is that it does a bit more. Like, for example, What the Golf, for example, is just a pretty basic game, but I love What the Golf. I would have had that one win, to be honest, because that's just pure joy. But My Friend Pedro just does a bit more, and it reaches it's a bit deeper, you know. Yeah. It's a very good indie game.
There's deeper mechanics, there's a lot of fun on the visuals there, a lot of fun on the story, and the music is fantastic as well.
So next up is the Hella Pretty Award, the award, the paper plate that goes to the most pretty game of the year in our opinion, and the community's opinion, I guess. Nominated but didn't make it to the shortlist were Crackdown 3, Borderlands 3, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and Pokemon Sword and Shield. And the top 3 were Forza Horizon 4, the LEGO Speed Champions DLC, The Outer Worlds, and Untitled Goose Game. And the winner of the Hello Pretty Award is Untitled Goose Game, which is, I guess, a bit surprising for a few of you because it isn't a game that's pretty in the conventional sense, because it isn't like hyper realistic like a lot of AAA games. But for us and for me personally, it wins this. It deserves to win this award because it has such simple but yet so charming and pretty visuals. It just has this charm, a lot of charm to it, and that comes a lot from the very simplistic and very great art style that it has, which also just lend itself great to a lot of like fan art and stuff like that as well.
I think what takes it away from the other two nominations and adds to Untitled Goose Game is it's its own unique style, whereas Forza Horizon 4, it's just every other game in that series but prettier, and that's what Forza Horizon does. Very much Forza very much is like the Microsoft's way of showing off the hardware of the current generation or of the year. So it's still incredibly gorgeous as a game, but it's something we've seen a million times before. And The Outer Worlds, again, similar concept. It's very much RPG, open world. It's pretty, it's in a new area, but it's something we have seen a few times before, where I feel like Untitled Goose Game does offer something new and something interesting. And despite how simple it is, what it does with that simple art style is incredibly effective.
Yeah. And it's interesting because all these games have like something specific about them, because on Horizon it's basically just, oh, look at how cool the Lego and how realistic the Lego looks. And in The Outer Worlds, like, oh my god, space looks so cool. And in the Goose Game, it's a silly goose.
Yeah, I remember that was our thing with the Forza Horizon one. It was like, oh my god, look how cool the Lego looks in this game.
It's interesting because it's Forza was like one of the very early games in the year. Mm-hmm. So I kind of forgot that it actually is really good, like looking as well.
Yeah, Speed Champions came out early to mid, didn't it, I think?
Yeah, I mean, Forza obviously is a game from 2018, I think. So
it came out 2018.
Yeah, so Forza Horizon 4 is a game from 2018, obviously, but we made DLCs eligible as well.
Yeah.
So, we've decided to nominate LEGO Speed Champions because, as we said, the LEGO just looks really, really good in this.
Next award is Best Moment of 2019. This award goes to the game that provided us with maybe a couple of scenes, maybe a minute of a specific kind of gameplay that looks incredible or is very memorable. So our nominations are Crackdown 3 and the rediscovery of enjoying the gameplay, Pokemon Sword and Shield and the first entrance into the wild area, What the Golf with numerous references and puns. And our nominations for these three are Forza Horizon 4 LEGO Speed Champions title sequence, Yoku's Island Express title sequence, and Untitled Goose Game running the bell back through the finale of the game. And the winner of the prestigious Best Moment Purple Plate of the Jammies is Untitled Goose Game running the bell back through the finale. Congratulations. It was an incredibly fun moment, and I've actually experienced it twice now. I played it once on Switch to play through it. I played through it again on the Xbox for achievements, and it was a lot more fun for me understanding how to play the game. And realizing that the way you go through the finale is like you literally go through a model village of the stuff you've already done, then you get the bell, and then you run it back through the town. It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, for me it was like because in the beginning area you have like this little trench with all the bells in it. And when I played through of it on the release day, I was like, oh, look at all the bells. I want to go there. I want to know what this is about, because that seemed a bit weird. And then you just make the whole journey and you go through this like miniature village and rip down the castle and take the bell. And you have to go through all the way because you had to stealth a lot in the game. That's a big part of it. So now you have to make your way through to the beginning, and all the shortcuts are closed up. So you have to basically stealth with a giant bell in your beak, which obviously makes sound. So that's a bit difficult. And that was just an incredible like ending to the game, and just add to your pile. And just, it's weird that it adds character to the goose in a way.
I feel like we don't have this as an award, but if we had the award for biggest twist in the game, or biggest twist of the year, realizing you're the bad guy of a video game, yeah, I think Untitled Goose Game would run off with that by a mile.
Yeah, because it's just like, this is just such a so you cause so much chaos, but like in the end, it's just another Monday for the goose. It's so good. And next up, the award for the most disappointing game of the year. Considered but not nominated were The Division 2 and The Outer Wilds. And the top 3 for this were Crash Team Racing, Nitro Fueled, Grid 2019, and Man of Medan. And the winner for the most disappointing game 2019 was Man of Medan.
There are no winners for most disappointing.
I mean, fair enough, but you know.
Yeah, Mirdo doesn't know what to say too much about this one because he didn't play the game.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting one. This was one I very much pushed for. Man of Medan itself isn't necessarily a disappointing game. It's very much campy, cheesy horror. But I think what let it down was how good Until Dawn was. And then going to this game, it was just... I don't know, I expected so much more of it. You know, if you watched the stream of us playing it, myself and Jaffa, you know, we predicted everything. I was constantly making jokes over it. There was never a moment where I was like, oh, what's going to happen next? And that's what you need in a horror game. You need the tension. You need stuff like that. And Man of Medan just did not have that. Crash Team Racing's on the list because it was a game I was looking forward to. And once I finished the campaign, whatever you want to call it, it was good, but finding out that the different modes and stuff like that just weren't what they were supposed to be, all the microtransactions and stuff, it was incredibly disappointing to see that, and I'm impressed it didn't make it to second on the list, but Mirdo can talk about that.
Yeah, Crash Team Racing, I know. I was kind of excited for it too. It did everything it was supposed to do because it's a remake, but I don't know, it just didn't really... Obviously, it feels like the old one, and that's pretty good, but I guess I realized like how little I actually care for these kind of games, or like for Crash Team Racing, the old one. I know, I would definitely look forward to a new game with more stuff in it. But it's just kind of let down for some reason. It's weird, but I can't really explain it. And the third one on the list, Grid 2019. Oh, I wanted this to win so bad because Jesus Christ, I was so happy for this. So, for a little like rollback, Grid 2008 was a really good, very, very good video game, racing game. It just had such a great like career mode, and like you had like a team system, you could customize your cars and everything, and just so good, and like such a great way of like advancing, you had to buy all the cars and all that cool stuff. It just felt like a career mode of a racing game should be, basically. Grid 2 came out, was similar, not as good, but still fine. Autosport came out, which was the third part, which was really bland and really uninteresting. Then there was a bit of like a gap in the series. And then Grid 2019 comes out, and they talking about getting back to the roots and the Nemesis system, how great that is with like the opponent, and you can make stories inside the race and like make friends and enemies on the track, and it's so bland. It's a racing game. It controls fine. The modes are fine. There's a team system. It's fine. There's customization. It's fine.
I think you can talk quite easily this way. That as far as Grid is concerned, more for you, but me as well. We've already got Forza Horizon, which we love so much. So you're already gonna have that as a benchmark. Crash Team Racing, again, we've got Mario Kart. I personally prefer Crash Team Racing's way of drifting and stuff like that, but the actual gameplay itself and the different modes, I definitely prefer Mario Kart, and again, that's the benchmark now. And again, same with Man of Medan. Until Dawn is the benchmark. This is how just the most disappointing works for all of us, I think. You've got these benchmarks that exist already, and if they don't, you've got to figure out which one measures up the least, basically. And again, I think Mirdo does feel like Grid doesn't measure up to Forza. I feel like Dark Pictures didn't measure up to Until Dawn, and you know, quite a few people felt that way too. So
yeah, it's more a case of that it doesn't measure up to the older games. and that it doesn't like, because Grid and Forza are obviously kind of different games, because Grid is more towards the realistic type, and Forza Horizon in specific is more arcade-ish. I mean Grid isn't a simulation, it's also more like it's a bit in the middle, but Grid is obviously more about actual motorsport, and Forza Horizon is just more having fun and having a good,
All games are about having
well,
fun,
it's more
really.
casual. It's more an arcadey casual game, you know, but it's still like probably the best racing game I've played in a long while, minus Wreckfest. Wreckfest isn't, Wreckfest is good. Play Wreckfest.
Play Wreckfest. Next up on our awards is Game of the Decade. This award is for a game that came out between 2010 and 2019, fully released, not just in beta or early access. And this has been voted for largely by the community. Everyone has got a submission. They've gone into a big pile, and everyone's chosen from that big pile. So, in no particular order, our nominees are Horizon Zero Dawn from 2017, Minecraft 2011, Grand Theft Auto 5 2013, Overwatch 2016, Rocket League 2015, Fortnite 2017, Sea of Thieves 2018, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim 2011, Payday 2 2013, Halo Reach 2010, Breath of the Wild 2017. And the winner of this is Minecraft, which came out in 2011. Minecraft has been a game that's been perennial in the last decade. A lot of people did question me when I first mentioned this game. They're like, oh, it came out in 2009. It fully released, came out of beta in 2011, so it counts as Game of the Decade. Fight me. It is a game I've gone back to countless times. We streamed it about 100,000 times in various different forms. I've made YouTube videos on it in various different forms, and that's just me. There have been a ton of YouTubers and streamers and content creators that have been using this game forever. For different versions of things. The closest game to it was Halo Reach from 2010. Technically did tie, but we did have a tiebreaker on this. A lot of people enjoyed that game. A lot of people's favorite FPS of this decade. Kind of buoyed by the fact it came out in 2019. I said buoyed like I'm a goddamn American. And after that, not a lot of games came too close. Grand Theft Auto 5 and Overwatch tied, followed by Breath of the Wild and Horizon Zero Dawn. Very fun games. All of them absolutely brilliant. Not a single game on that list is a bad game by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm very glad Minecraft 2011 won.
Yeah. I just think it's Minecraft is just so influential overall, so it definitely deserves that title. It just did so much for, just basically everything. Just YouTube has been like shaped by a lot of people have basically just grown up with this game as like found friends through it, found communities through it. That's how I started online, to be completely honest, with a completely legal, not cracked version. My personal game was Grand Theft Auto 5. To be honest, because I thought that was just the biggest game of the decade.
Definite close second for me.
Because it's just, and it's still going as well. You can still play it online. I still do, John. Yeah. And one game that surprised me that didn't go as high, but I didn't play it as well. I didn't play it myself, but I would consider it definitely being a game of the decade, being Skyrim. Mm-hmm. Because Jesus, that game, it's so big and so large, just, and it has been such a big fixture of the RPG landscape, basically.
I think
it's just little games before it come close to scope and how influential it has been for a lot of people. And the modding community is also still going strong as far as I know.
Yeah, I think any game where you can mod Thomas the Tank Engine in to be some kind of fearsome creature is definitely worthy of some kind of award. So it's definitely Skyrim and definitely Resident Evil 2 as well. I've seen a very good mod for Thomas the Tank Engine. So.
But we didn't play that.
No, we didn't. Fuck you, horror
Fuck
games.
You. And next up, Best Indie Game of the Year. Our nominations that didn't make it to the shortlist were Slay the Spire and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
It's a quick special mention to a couple we didn't add onto that list. Pedro's probably should have made it onto there as well, and a couple others, but we kind of came up with a quick shortlist, so they wouldn't have affected the top three.
And the top three have been Yoku's Island Express, Untitled Goose Game, and Water Golf. And the winner of the prestigious Best Indie Game Award is Untitled Goose Game. Yay. And nobody was surprised.
Congratulations.
Oh, what a game.
And just for context, Untitled Goose Game actually got twice the nominations that What the Golf and Yoku's Island Express did combined. So, big favourite here at the Jestertainment community.
Yeah, it's just... I mean, I guess you would call me partial because I'm a big fan of seagulls, so of course I like Goose. But it's just, as we said earlier, it's just a game that has so much charm to it and so much personality, despite being pretty short and pretty simple. And that, for me, definitely deserves an award in this category, despite this year being really strong for indies. So... yeah, Untitled Goose Game, just like I said, influential for the community, the internet as a whole. The memes were rampant at the time, and just that's something not a lot of indie games in general can say about themselves. Obviously, Water Golf and Yoku's Island Express, 2 games me and Liam really liked, really enjoyed as well. Water Golf, a game again with tons of charm and clever gags, sometimes not as clever, but just the times it just cracked me open so much, was so good with like some of the
think What the Golf, even though we only got to play like less than an hour of it with my issues on stream, I think some of the moments just within that like first half an hour had me like high pitched laughing. They were absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it diverts your expectations a lot and just plays with what you expect to happen, basically. So yeah, if you haven't yet, it's not a long game, but you should definitely give it a bit of a try. It's pretty funny. A lot of references to things as well. And Yoku's Island Express, a game that I'm really surprised didn't get like more attention, because it's again charming. It's very special because it's unique. It's a very unique game with how it plays, the gameplay, because basically it's a bit of a pinball game, a flipper game. Basically there's a ball and to it attached is a bug, and that's your main character, and you just flip it about with like bumpers and the little flippers on a pinball table in most situations, or just roll it around normal. There's so many colorful characters and side quests and a big story to explore, and the title sequence, we had that for moment of the year, and I don't want to really spoil it, but it's just such a build up, and so like me and Liam, when we played it together, we just went, oh, it was so good.
I'm a sucker for like late, really interesting title sequences. Again, Forza Horizon 4 got mentioned for as well. Yoku's just did such an amazing reveal, and we probably already showed it as part of this video. But no, it's fantastic. It's well worth playing as well. Okay, and finally, we're on to our final award, in the final award. It is the Game of the Year award as voted for by the Jestertainment community. This is another one we took nominations from the audience for, as well as our own. Again, running through the list, these are the games that were considered for our top 10. Just as a heads up, this is very much inspired by what GameSpot did, so quick shout out to them. They have a top 10 where they do not rank 2 to 10. They just say these are the games worth playing, and then have a number 1 game, which is what we're going to do too. I do like their reasoning for it. It's a case of you don't want to be arguing over semantics as to why this one should be at number 3 and this one should be at number 4. I think it's a much more sensible way to go about it. And then you haven't got me telling Mirdo that this game isn't a real game, it shouldn't be on the list. So, these are the games that could have been nominated. Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, Felix the Reaper, Forza Horizon 4 LEGO Speed Champions DLC, Division 2, Yoku's Island Express, Pokemon Sword and Shield, the Grand Tour game, Halo Reach, Outer Wilds, Wargroove, Ape Out, Untitled Goose Game, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, Slay the Spire, My Friend Pedro, What the Golf, Descenders, Katana Zero, Crackdown 3, Apex Legends, Borderlands Game of the Year Remaster, Final Fantasy VII, Borderlands 3, Man of Medan, Gears Pop, The Outer Worlds, Super Mario Maker 2, Crumple Zone, Grid, Wreckfest, Mortal Kombat 11, Death Stranding, Pathologic, Cat Quest 2, Kingdom Hearts 3, and Unheard. I can't wait till that's a longer list next year. So, our games that were nominated for the top 9 without top 10 with not number 1 being mentioned. You'll be able to figure it out. This is very weird, chat. I'm very sorry. I'm figuring it out. So, in no particular order, our games 10 to 2 are as follows: Halo Reach, Untitled Goose Game, Forza Horizon 4 LEGO Speed Champions, Borderlands 3, What the Golf, Katana Zero, The Outer Worlds, Super Mario Maker 2, and Crackdown 3. And the winner of the prestigious Game of the Year Purple Plate from the Jammies Awards 2019 is, of course, Pokemon Sword and Shield. This game was one that a lot of people were... if you looked at Twitter, which, if you've learned nothing from this year, do not look at Twitter for popular opinions, because it turns out 0.5% of the population is on Twitter, and they're all saying the same thing. A lot of people were not looking forward to Sword and Shield, according to Twitter. Going on about Dexit, no National Pokédex, why are they focusing on the Curry Dex? This all looks terrible. If you've played the game, you've probably enjoyed the game. A lot of the community voted for this and nominated this. So yeah, very big game for everybody here at Jester. I have never seen a game that has been more universally played by people that don't play games all that often. I looked at my friends list. I saw 11 or 12 people all playing Pokemon Sword and Shield at the same time. It was incredible. I've never had such an amazing community experience, especially being one of the few people that picked up Pokemon Shield rather than Sword, because the amount of ponies I've had to bloody breed is incredible.
Yeah, Pokemon Sword and Shield really divisive, but I really enjoyed it as well. Just all the new designs of new Pokemon, the way they handled the gym leaders this time of the tournament was really great. Yeah, just a great Pokemon game, really fun. Obviously, there's always room to improve, but just what it did, just the impact of it, pretty much deserves it a spot in the #1. And a lot of people agree. A lot of people put this as the #1 game in our survey, so I think it's well deserved that. And it's just good. It's just a good game.
Definitely not without its problems. The internet in the wild area is a mistake. Yeah, there's a few other little bits as well, but for me personally, much like Breath of the Wild in 2017, I put over 100 hours into the game and didn't even realize I'd put 100 hours into the game. I generally don't play many games past the story. I'm not a huge 100% complete everything kind of person. I'm still working on the living decks on Sword and Shield now, so yeah, really enjoy it. And a lot of people that complain about the National Dex thing, I get your complaints, I understand, but I also think you're a bit of an idiot, because, let's be honest, trying to balance, nearly 1,000 Pokemon at this stage, and all the moves and stuff like that, is silly. I mean, they're still having issues now at 400, so, you know, I appreciate they've made it a lot easier for a new player, especially a new player who wants to get into competitive. Which is me personally. They've made that so much easier now. So yeah, I think the changes they've made have been positive. I think if you're looking forward to having all your Pokemon in one area, Pokemon Home is coming early next year. And going forwards, I hope they continue to limit it to about 400 Pokemon. I feel like that's a much smarter system than trying to cram every single Pokemon in there and trying to get ones that work. So you end up with new favorites. Barely any of my favorites got included. So what did I do? I came up with new ones. There's no Bulbasaur, there's no Poliwag, there's no Sandshrew, there's no Zangoose. I've got Toxtricity now, I've got Galara and Ponytail, you know? I'm not the kind of person who's going to cry about it. I'm just going to go, alright, we'll adapt and work with what we've got here.
Adapt, improve, overcome.
Exactly.
The fun thing is, for me, my team was mostly, I think 5 out of 6 were new Pokemon in this game. Which is just 5 out of 6 and not 6 out of 6, because I had to have my boy Pelipper. What I do have to say about the Dex controversy is I think having all the Pokemon available definitely has its benefits, and I kind of hope they maybe include them step by step, especially to keep the competitive part of it fresh, because I am in the trading card game community. Play competitive as well. I know a few people in the video game community as well, and a problem they have a lot of times with the older games is that it gets stale, because obviously there's a few Pokemon that are just the best. So you have a pool of 10 to 12 Pokemon that basically dominate the meta, and sometimes there's counter stuff that gets popular because of the popular stuff. But it just tends to get a bit stale over time. So they have rotations of types that okay, you're limited to no legendaries at the beginning, then you have a few legendaries, and you have all legendaries. But I think if you have the systems of, okay, all the Pokemon that have been left out, they get included step by step, maybe like a DLC model included with Sword and Shield, with Switch Monthly.
Retaining is a smart move, really, where maybe you swap out 200 every time. If you stick to the 400, you swap out half of them, you have like the new ones, and then you have different ones in. I feel like adding them is just going to recreate the problem you already have. Where...
Yeah, but I mean, okay, just to add on that, it's basically like, okay, you add like, let's say every 3 months you add, I think there's left out like 300, 400, so you add like 50 every 3 months, let's say. That's probably a number they can also deal with, the people at Game Freak. And then you add them, and you do that until the next game comes out, and then you limit it again. So you have like the mix of, okay, we have all these Pokemon available now, maybe there's like a little area to it. So you have like a special island somewhere off the coast of the map, and there's where the new Pokemon goes. Every few months you have a rotating cast that goes there. And then you have the new game coming out with a new area, new friends, and then you have that whole cycle again. I think that's a smart way.
Well, at the moment, we don't know what Nintendo's 2020 plans are.
Yeah.
Not that it matters. Breath of the Wild 2 is going to come out and be Game of the Year. But if they are going to introduce anything DLC-wise, it'll be then. Or if we're going to get a new /0.5 generation of Pokemon, we're going to get that next year probably as well. So, yeah, we'll see how we go. But, yeah, not to dismiss any other game in this list. All fantastic games. All worth playing. Again, if you didn't hear what they were, Pokemon Sword and Shield was the best game of the year for us in 2019. But of course, we would recommend highly Untitled Goose Game, Borderlands 3, Halo Reach, What the Golf, Forza Horizon 4 Lego Speed Champions, Katana Zero, Super Mario Maker 2, The Outer Worlds, and Crackdown 3. Boys and girls, that is it for the Jammies 2019. Hope you enjoyed this little award presentation. If you have any comments to make, please do drop them below, and we'd love to hear all about them. If you want to have a go at us about our personal opinions, our Twitters are in the bottom left and bottom right respectively, at Jestertainment_ and at MurdoChigel3210. You can tweet at us and we'll go, shut up, we don't care, and block you. It's very easy. If you enjoyed the content today and you want to see what we're going to be streaming and playing and etc in 2020, you can go to twitch.tv/Jestertainment and twitch.tv/Mirdo and youtube.com/Jestertainment. Again, if you want to see what we're writing about this week, twitter.com/Jestertainment_ and twitter.com/MurdoChigel3210. And of course, if you want to support the channel, what we do, and the content we create, all the links are in the description below. Boys and girls, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, let us know what you thought. We're going to do some more in the future. By more in the future, we'll probably do one every year. That makes sense for an annual award show, doesn't it? Boys and girls, have a great 2020. Thank you very much for watching, and we shall see you in the next one. See ya.
Honk.